Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day today. Today I wanted to do a books I read in May and also books I hauled in May video. I have part of that stack here and next to me. It's kind of all over the place. I didn't really have enough to do separate videos on each of the things, so I figured to combine them into one video and you can just know everything that I bought and read in the month of May. First and foremost though, I do want to thank the sponsor for this portion of today's video, which is Book of the Month. I love working with Book of the Month. If you weren't aware, Book of the Month is a very popular and fast-growing online book subscription service that is made for readers. They have a mission to promote new and emerging authors and to help readers find books that they're going to love. They do so by having their team vet hundreds of books every single month so that they can have their readers choose from a curated selection of new and early release titles for the month, so that as a reader we can spend more time reading and less time researching. Plus, Book of the Month is risk-free, meaning that if there's ever any month that you would like to skip, then you can do so at no cost to you. And they do all of this at the best price for new release hard fiction books. And even though the price is already amazing, if it's your first time getting a book with them, use the code SPLASH to get your first book for just $9.99, which is such a deal. Like I said, I love working with Book of the Month. I actually have a Book of the Month subscription myself, so that when I'm not working with them, I can still get books. So the two books that I actually chose for this month, the first book that I got is actually She Started It by Sean Gilbert. So She Started It is a thriller that has to do with four best friends that get invited to a bachelorette party on like a tropical island by a girl that they never expected to get invited to a bachelorette party from. Maybe they were a little bit meaner to her in their childhood than we would like, but they're not going to say no. I mean, who's going to say no to an all expenses paid vacation? Not these girls. So it is a thriller though, so we can expect maybe not the best intentions for this sudden reunion. And then the other book that I got, I won't lie, the cover actually convinced me, but it is The Wishing Game by Meg Schaefer. This is a contemporary fiction book about four readers, very bookish people, that join a competition to get a rare book from one of their favorite authors. That's really all I know about it. So yeah, these are the two that I chose of the month's picks, but there are a few others on there, plus other reads if you wanted to add add-ons, so definitely check out Book of the Month if you haven't already. Huge fan of theirs. And with that, let's just get started in the video. Let's start with the haul portion just because, hello, we just hauled two books, you know? Oh my gosh, I just read what the bookmark they gave in the boxes. Respectfully, leave me alone. I love it. Let's do the books that are loose on the top just because you can probably see them. I do actually have 3 Colleen Hoover books here. I know. Slammed by Colleen Hoover. I have not read this yet. This is actually the only book that I have seen positive things from like reviewers that I trust when it comes to Colleen Hoover books, at least. I don't know much about it. I'm pretty sure it has to do with like slam poetry, which honestly, that can go in any way. But I am actually excited to get to this one versus like the other Colleen Hoover books that I've actually read both of these, and we'll talk about them later in the video because I read them in May, and that's going to be It Ends With Us and Confess, both by Colleen Hoover. Like I said, we'll talk about them later in the video when we get to the wrap-up portion, but yeah. And the last loose book that I have here, this one, I actually have been really excited about it, and I kind of forgot about it until I'd seen it at Target when I was getting the Colleen Hoover books, actually, and I figured I'd give myself a little present because I was really excited about this. So it's Clayton Nestra by Costanza Casati. I know very little about it. I do know it's based off of the Greek myth of Clytemnestra. The back says, as for queens, they are either hated or forgotten. She already knows which option suits her best. So it's about the queen, Clytemnestra, which hopefully I'm pronouncing correctly. And then we have some unboxings here. We'll start with the Fairy Loot, like monthly boxes that I get. So this one was for the month of April, and it was strings attached. I am a rep for the Fairy Loot subscription boxes. I get the adult book-only subscription boxes because they just suit my fancy a little bit better now in life, but I love getting these. This is still just 100% something that I would be subscribed to if I wasn't a rep for. Like, I love these. For the month of April, it was In the Lives of Puppets by TJ Klune. Ooh! Oh my gosh. Wait. Look at that. Look at that beauty. Oh, that's so freaking pretty. I'd forgotten that TJ Klune was coming out with a new book. Look at these end papers. They just go with everything. Oh, the vibes. Look at it naked. It's so pretty. It's just like simple. I love it a lot. I love it a lot. And this is signed, Welcome to the heart of a peculiar forest and the beginning of an extraordinary journey. In a small home built into the branches of a tree live a human named Victor and 3 robots. These are a pleasantly sadistic nurse machine, a small vacuum desperate for love and attention, and a fatherly inventor android named Giovanni Lawson. Together, they're a family hidden and safe. Then, Vic salvages an unfamiliar android labeled HAP. He learns that Hap and Geo share a dark past where they hunted humans, and Hap unwittingly gives away Geo's location. Before they know it, robots from Geo's former life arrive to capture and return the android to his old laboratory in the city of electric dreams. The rest of the unconventional family must travel across an unforgiving and otherworldly country to rescue Geo from decommissioning, or worse, reprogramming. Along the way, Vic must decide if he can handle his feelings for Hap, even if they come with strings attached. That's precious. I love TJ Klune's writing. I mean, I've only read one of TJ Klune's books, but I really liked that one, so I have high hopes for everything else that I read by him. We also have the May box, which I also don't know what it's gonna be. I'm very good at not getting spoiled because I forget to check social media all the time. Ooh, so it's Kiss or Kill, and again, this is the month of May. Oh, that looks pretty already. I don't know what this is, but oh, that's a pretty ooh, monolime art. Well, no, maybe not monolime art. It feels like monolime art, though. I could be incorrect. I've been incorrect about many things. Oh, no, I was right. Some artists, like, you can just pick them out, and I love monolime art's art style. So this is The Curse of Saints by Kate Dramus. Look how pretty. I love that it wraps all the way around. I also really like the taupey color that they went with. Oh, look at that. Look at that end paper. Looks steamy. Oh, also looks steamy. I'm into it. Oh my goodness, look at that. That's stunning. Oh, I really like the color of this book. Like this like very soft pearly gray. Okay, anyways, let me read you what it's about. Has she been sent to save the realm or destroy it? As spy master to the queen, Aya's blood oath ensures she protects those she fights alongside, including Will, the queen's enforcer, and Aya's bitter rival. When rumors of dark magic rise in a nearby kingdom, both are sent to investigate. But when Aya's power acts beyond her god's given affinity, she risks being turned into a weapon in a war she doesn't know how to win. And when her relationship with Will unexpectedly shifts, neither knows the danger that will follow. Short and sweet and to the point. Cool. This sounds really great and it looks amazing, so I'm here for it. Also signed, and yeah, nice. Thank you to Fairy Loot. I will leave their information down below if you do want to check them out. I obviously highly recommend them because the next thing that I have to unbox for you is actually something I bought myself. Not once, not twice, but I'm pretty sure thrice. I had issues in my order. I think the first time my card got declined, the second time, no, I bought it twice, not 3 times. Because the first time I think my card declined it because it thought like I was lying or something like that. But then I went to go buy it again, but then it actually got approved. So then I actually had to reach out to Prairie Loot and be like, wait, I only won it once. So luckily they refunded it all in the same day. It was actually very nice. And I was at work when it happened. Don't tell my job. Either way, I waited until there was a moment for me to open it with you guys because I just felt like we should share this. I don't have a lot of extra money to spend, but if there is going to be something that I spend it on, it's going to be special editions of my favorite author. You know? Look at all this bubble wrapping. They said there's no way that your books are going to come damaged to you. Look how ginormous these babies are. They're like the size of my head. Oh, I also haven't actually looked at what these look like through their Instagram, which I'm pretty sure they've started posting about it, but whenever I saw it, I would just scroll past. So I wanted it to be authentic for me. So we have Crescent City 1 and Crescent City 2. This is the front of the book slipcase that it comes in. And this is what they look like next to each other if you leave them in the slipcase. And then the backs have like the embossing of Sarah J. Maas's signature on them. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Through love, all is possible. This has a ribbon bookmark. Danica and Bryce. Oh no. And we have Hunt Athalar and Rune Dannon without the, oh my god. Oh my god. I'm feeling some type of way about these books. These might be the most beautiful books I own. I know I say that every time I get a new Fairy Loot book, but God, they really just keep one-upping themselves. Like, this is so stunning. I want to say I don't think these are signed, which makes sense because I know that Sarah J Maas kind of keeps her signings to a minimum because of her like hand issues, but it's fine. I have other books by her that are signed, so I don't care. Oh, I don't want to slip it back in yet. She just needs to like be exposed to the world for a little bit longer. These actually slip out really easily, which is good because sometimes it's hard. Look how beautiful. It says light it up on the back. Ah, we have Bryce again and Hunt again. And I think this is supposed to be, is it Conan? Cormac. And then, oh, what's his name? Therion. So it's definitely Therion, and I think it's Cormac on the side. Not totally positive. I could be wrong. He's just a plain white man. Oh, maybe it's Ian. I don't know. These are beautiful. Oh, wait, I haven't looked at it without. Look at this. Look at it. These are beautiful. I have no regrets. That was fantastic. I had a great time. I hope you had a good time. Now let's actually talk about the books that I read in May. So the first book that I finished in May, I started in April actually, but that's the book of Azrael by Amber Nicole. I really, really enjoyed this. I gave it 4 stars, maybe like 4.5. It just kind of felt a little bit long for me, but this is like a paranormal fantasy romance. Our main character in this is Diana, and Diana actually kind of sold her soul to Caden, this guy named Caden, 1,000 years before this story starts in the deserts of Eoria, which is her planet, because she was about to die, and her sister, well, no, she wasn't about to die, but her sister was about to die, and she was begging for anyone that was listening to spare her sister's life, and Caden was the person listening. So he turned her into one of his, like, demon slave people. Have I talked about this already? I feel like I read this in April, but when I looked in my April description, I didn't see it. So then I was like, maybe I did read it in May. If I already talked about this, I'm so sorry. But either way, I gave it 4 stars. It's about Diana. She is like a half demon thing that works for Caden, and she ends up having to team up with like her mortal enemy, which is the World Ender. And the World Ender is like a king that people had actually thought had died back when the worlds ended, which the world ended like 1,000 years ago, and it didn't really end. It was more like 2 worlds collided, and now his angel race people live with like her human race people, and like they just kind of like commingle and have like advanced alien technology, things like that. But she has to work with him to potentially defeat her true master, which is Caden. And he is, again, like king of angels and like a world ender, and he's got like incredible amounts of magic, and he's super sexy, and she's really hot too, but like they are mortal enemies, but now they have to work together. Is it a romance or what? I feel like that was a really confusing description, but I feel like I've talked about this already. I don't know. If I haven't, then there you go. If I have, then also there you go. So the next book that I did read was actually It Ends With Us. I didn't rate this on Goodreads, and I'm still kind of in between on ratings in general. So It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. I know that this is a lot of people's like favorite Colleen Hoover book. It's about Lily Bloom. Yes, that is her name. So we have Lily Bloom, who moved to Boston, and she's starting her life. She's starting a florist shop because, of course, her name's Lily Bloom, and of course she should have a florist shop. And she meets this man named Ryle Kincaid, who is a surgeon, like a resident surgeon. And they fall in love, and it's their love story as it turns less and less lovey-dovey and more abusive. And it's also flashing back in the timeline to when she was really young, when she was 15, I believe, going on 16, and writing in her journal. But she would always prompt it by writing to Ellen DeGeneres, because I guess that was just how she got her journaling out. She was a big Ellen DeGeneres fan. So it flashes back to that timeline and the abuse that she actually witnessed between her parents and like this boy that she saved who had been on the streets, a boy that was in her high school that she befriended and maybe fell in love with a little bit, named Atlas. And it's that story flashing to the present and her story with Ryle and how maybe all of it ends up connecting. Like I said, I have a hard time rating this one, mostly because I know that this is still sold as a romance, and this is not a romance. I mean, I actually kind of want to do a whole book summary video, especially before the movie comes out. So let me know if you'd like to see that. It's not really going to be a rated one though, but I am planning on kind of doing a whole thing on Colleen Hoover books, which is, again, why I'm reading them. So yeah, unrated. Then, right after that, I did actually read another Colleen Hoover book, one that I actually did like more, but was still abusive. I don't know. That's Confess by Colleen Hoover, a 21-year-old Auburn who is living in Dallas away from her whole family. She's doing so for some reason that we don't know until the very end of the book, but she moved to Dallas on her own, and it's her trying to make a living, doing a job that she hates, when she still needs more money, and she finds a job kind of randomly when she walks into this artist's warehouse. And this artist is Owen, and he creates these like incredible impressionist paintings about confessions that people leave, like anonymous confessions that people leave for him. And this also kind of flashes between two timelines, like what drove Auburn initially to kind of move to Dallas. You don't really know how they connect until the end, so that part's pretty fun. But yeah, I love the premise of like the artist that creates confessions based off of anonymous people leaving confessions for them. I really just had a hard time with some of the other aspects in this book. Also unrated though. I don't I don't know. Oh, and then one that I do know how I feel about, The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. I actually finished this on May 4th. That's just fun, because, you know, may the 4th be with you, and this is a Reylo fanfic. Reylo being Kylo Ren and Rey. But yeah, this is, like I said, a Reylo fanfic. You can really tell once you know what to look for, but it starts with Olive, who is a PhD candidate in her 3rd year, and she is like desperate to get her best friend on to just start dating her ex-boyfriend. She was never really that into her ex-boyfriend. She can just tell that they'd be good together, but On is like a very loyal best friend. She would not do that to her best friend, even if Olive doesn't care. But to try and convince them to be together, she says that she's in a relationship, and she kisses the first guy that she sees in the hallway. And of course, that first guy that she sees in the hallway, kind of an infamous professor at their school named Adam. And he's infamous for being mean and unapproachable, but he kisses her back, and he agrees to start a fake date romance with Olive so that Olive's friend On can just date her ex-boyfriend already. And it's them fake dating and like the implications of that, but like also just like them maybe potentially getting feelings for each other. I really loved this, actually. I was skeptical going into it. I was so skeptical. The science part of it was really cool, and it was even cooler to learn that Ali Hazelwood actually, you know, studies science, and that most of, if not everything in here, is fairly accurate as far as like the science talk goes. Again, I gave this 5 stars. I would definitely read another Ali Hazelwood book. Then, a book I don't own, unfortunately, but I read The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. I also really enjoyed this. This was kind of slow though, which is the only reason I gave it 4 stars instead of 5. This is a very interesting premise. Like, there's just a lot that happens in this plot. So I'm gonna try and summarize it for you, but all you really need to know is that our main character is Oriah, and Oriah is actually the adopted daughter, human daughter, of the Nightborn vampire king. This world is in a vampire world, or a vampire island, I guess, because there are humans just on a different continent. But she is one of the humans that lives in the vampire continent, and she has always felt like prey. Even if her father is the High King, there is just kind of a lawlessness that is prevalent in this story with the vampires. Like, even though there's supposed to be human districts that vampires aren't allowed to hunt in, there's always vampires hunting the humans down. It's just not ever going to be safe to be a human in this world. And Oriah definitely feels that, and she knows that her only chance to capture power and to not be prey anymore is by winning the Kajari. And the Kajari is a tournament that happens like every 100 or so years, and it is actually put on by the goddess of death herself. And whoever wins the Kajari gets like one wish, like one ask. You can ask anything from the goddess of death and she will grant it to you if you win the Kajari. But the Kajari, again, is something that the best of the best kind of vampires are going to join in. And so when she does go to this, she has to make an alliance with another vampire, even if they are from another race of vampires. Because, of course, in this story, there are 3 races of vampires that all kind of hate each other, and she happens to ally herself with a very powerful vampire from one of the other vampire races, and they are named Rain. So it's her and Rain going through the Kajari together as allies, and whether she can actually trust Rain to be an ally, because she has learned time and again never to trust a vampire except for her adopted father, who told her not to trust any other vampires. So yeah, this story's kind of fun because like the races of the vampires are very interesting. Like each vampire race has different aspects to them. Like the two main ones have wings, but like her father's race of vampires who are currently in charge are the bat-winged race versus the race that used to be in charge, which is what Rain is a part of, which is the like angel wing race. They can be different colors, but like the style of wings. And then there's the bloodborne vampires, which they have like a curse on their magic. I think there's another race as well, but anyways, it's really fun. It's very in-depth. The Kajari was a lot of fun to read from because it's all kind of based around the moon and the goddess of death's life and like how it all went down. I don't know. It's cool. It's cool. And then the last book is actually a reread, and I'm not going to talk much about this because I have talked so much about this in the past like few weeks that I'm done with it, at least for a while, and that is Guild by Raven Kennedy. If you didn't see, I actually just posted a video where I'm starting a new series on my channel where I theoretically just kind of read a book so you don't have to, or read a book for you, or re-summarize a book in excruciating detail. And the first book that I did for that series is Guild by Raven Kennedy. So if you have been wanting to read the Plated Prisoner series, but you also don't want to read the Plated Prisoner series, that video is for you. I'll link it up above. It's a long one, so you know what? Do whatever you want to do in the 2.5 hours I talk. But I'm not going to talk about it right now. I'm so done with it. I'm so sorry. It's just, I had to reread it like multiple times just to get that video done. So enjoy it. I can actually tell you though that I did give it 4 stars. This is one of those that I will completely categorize under this is trash, but also really good trash. So like, don't expect anything incredible out of the writing or the plot, but also expect to just kind of be hooked for no good reason because it's a fantasy romance, you know? That's it. Those are all the books that I read and hauled in the month of May. I hope that this was fun to watch. Thank you again to Book of the Month for sponsoring this video. If you guys want to check them out or check out Fairy Loot, check down below. And I will also link all the books that I talked about today down below. Oh, also leave me comments down below if there's any books that you would want to see in the series. Like I said, I think that I really want to make one for It Ends With Us, just because I know the movie's coming out, and that was actually kind of my initial idea with the series is like, you know how readers, like me and you, readers can always say like, oh, well, we read the book before the movie. I kind of wanted something for non-readers to be able to feel like they also read a book before the movie. So, or if you're not down to read the book and you still want to know what happens in excruciating detail before the movie, that's what It Ends With Us will be for. I don't know where I put it. Oh, that'll probably be the next one, but leave other options down below if there's something that you would want me to cover. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. I forgot to say bye. Okay, now bye.